ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्म उपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु। तदात्मनि निरते यौपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ इत्येतदक्षरमुद्गीतमुपासीत ॐ इति ह्युद्गायते तस्योपव्याख्यानम् भूमा सम्प्रसादात् अध्युपदेशात्। That it is Bhuma, there is Paramatma, not Prana. How do you say? Samprasadat Adhyupadeshat. Because Samprasadat, after the Prana is greater than Prana, or compared to Prana, Adhyupadeshat. Bhuma is taught as superior to Prana. Therefore it is different from Prana, and therefore Bhuma is Paramatma. So various arguments were made as to how Prana should be Paramatma. Then we are told, so the Eshatva ativadati yes satyena ativadati. So the Siddhanta says that look, there is a change of topic from Prana to Bhuma. Various reasons were told. One is that Satyena Ativadati, the Shruti clearly says that this Ativadanam, this transcending the speech, is by virtue of knowledge of Satya. And if you say that the Shruti in fact enjoins speaking truth, that's Satyena Ativaded. So Pranavit, if that's your interpretation, then you would have discarded what the Shruti says and brought an interpretation which is outside the Shruti. Also, Eshatova ativadati. That too clearly shows that there is a change of topic. Because prakruta vyavrutyarthasya tu shabda hai. Tu means paran. However, this one really is ativadi, who is ativadi by virtue of knowledge of satyam. And therefore, the word tu also shows also a change of topic. Satyam te vijignasatavyamiti. That one should know satyam iti prayatnantarakaranam. So after teaching prana, then the teacher says, Satyam te vijignasatavyam. One should also seek to know satyam, prayatnantaram. An additional effort also is enjoined. Vijignasatavyam. That one should know satyam. So that shows that something additional is being done, therefore also this is a new topic. तस्मात् यथा एक वेद प्रशंसायां प्रकृतायां येषु महाब्राह्मणश्चतुर्ः वेदान् अधीते. So when the discussion is going about praising the people who are reciting one Veda, then somebody says, here is one Mahabrahmana who recites 4 Vedas. Then that is the Eshatu Mahabrahmana Yah Chaturo Vedan Adhite. Eshatu, that also is change of topic. That a new thing is being talked about. Tadrik Eda Drashtavyam Eshatuva Ativadati also has to be seen in the same way. Nache Prashna Prativachana Rupaya eva Arthandaravyakshaya Bhavitavyamidi Niyamasti. There is no rule that a fresh topic is introduced only with the intervention of question and answer. As the Tikakara said, Maitreyi asked more than once, and the topic was the same, namely the self-knowledge. So questions and answers doesn't mean that there is a change of topic. And in the illustration of the Brahmanas doing 1 Veda and Brahmanas doing 4 Vedas, there is no question and still there is a change of topic. So there is no rule that for introducing a fresh topic, necessarily there is a question and an answer. Then how come there was no question after the teaching of prana? How come the whole series of question and answers took place during all those cases up to prana? How come there was no question on the part of Narada and answer on the part of Sanat Kumara? He says that tatra pranantam anuशासनम श्रुत्वा तुष्णीभूतम नारदम स्वयमेव Sanat Kumaro vyutpadayati. Says Sanat Kumara saw that Narada was contented with the knowledge of pranam, believing that he has known what is to be known, believing that knowledge removes the grief or the shoka, which was a false satisfaction coming from a false understanding. So Sanat Kumara vyutpadayati, and therefore enlightens him, makes him see. Yat prana vijnanena vikara anurvishena ativaditvam anativaditvam evatata. He Narada, the ativaditvam that comes by virtue of the knowledge of prana is not really ativaditvam. Esutava ativadati yas satyena ativadati. But ativaditvam, it comes by virtue of knowledge of satyam, is ativaditvam. This is quite unusual. That ativaditvam is said. So, evam manvana evam vijanan ativadi bhavati. And then eshatva ativadati. So, both the times ativadanam is used. Ativadanam. So, one would naturally incline to believe that both of them stand for the same kind of ativadanam. So, but that is not so here. Satyena ativadati. He is a real ativadi who become Satyavadi by virtue of knowledge of Satyam. Tatra Satyamiti Param Brahma Uchyate. Satyam does not mean prana, Satyam means Param Brahma, Paramatha Rupatvad, because that is the Param Brahma is the ultimate reality. That's what Satyam's, the primary meaning of Satyam is this Paramathikam Satyam. Satyam Jnananandam Brahma, and the Shruti also says that Satyam is Brahman. Tatha Vyatpaditaya Naradaya. Says Narada was so enlightened that, oh, there is something more to be known. So when now he understood that, then he responded, Soham Bhagava Satyena Ativadani. Such as I am, oh Venerable Sir, I want to be it. I want to become Ativadi by virtue of knowledge of Satyam. This Ativaditvam is not the ultimate Ativaditvam. I want to become ultimately Ativadi. Vijnanadi sadhana parampara bhumanam upadishati. So, Satyena Ativadati. One becomes Ativadi by virtue of knowledge of Satyam. So, what is taught as Satyam? Bhumanam upadishati. Having promised that now I will teach you about Satyam, then Seth Sanat Kumara teaches about Bhuma. Therefore, Satyam is Bhuma. So Satyam is Paramadika Satyam Brahma and Satyam is Bhuma. Therefore, Bhuma is Paramadika Satyam. Bhuma is Paramatma. So Tatra Pranat Adi Satyam Vaktavyam Pradignyadam Teva Bhuma iti Uchyate iti Gamyate. Tasmad Asti Pranadadi Bhumna Upadesha iti. Therefore, with all of this, it is very clear that Bhuma is taught as something superior to Prana. Ityatah Pranadanyah Paramatma Bhuma Bhavitum Arhati. For this reason, Bhuma should be different from Prana and superior to Prana. Evamcha iha Atmavidashaya Prakasya Utthanam Upapannam Bhavishyati. Only Bhuma is Paramatma. Then only it is justified. What is justified? Opening of this whole discussion with the desire to know the self. The whole discussion opened with a desire to know the self on the part of Sage Narada. And therefore, that Atma is expecting itself. Now Atma is waiting for its unfoldment. What's the nature of Atma? And so this Bhuma satisfies that Akanksha. Prana eva Atma vikshati etadabhin. Then he said Prana alone is Atma. Because Pranoha Pita, Pranoha Mata, etc. etc. So that is not Atmatvam or the selfness in the primary sense. Ni pranasya mukhya vritya atmatvam asti. In a way you can say that you are prana because, as I say, pita is pita as long as the life breath is there, and then no more remains pita when the life breath is not there. So as long as the person is alive, you treat the person in a certain way. When the prana goes away, it's treated in a different way. So that the prana is praised as Atma. But the whole context is there, the meditation upon prana. Therefore, prana is described as the self of all, described as a very adhishtanam or ashraya of the entire universe, but not in the primary sense. Nachanyatra paramatma jnanat shoka nivritti asti. It is not possible to become free from grief without the knowledge of Paramatma. Nanyah pantha vidyate ayanaya iti tameva viditva atimrityumeti nanyah pantha vidyate ayanaya. The Shvetasvatara Upanishad says that ayanaya, for the ultimate goal, there is no other path than the knowledge of the self. तम मा भगवान शोकस्य पारम तारयेति उपक्रम्य उपसंहरति तस्मै मृद कषायाय तमसः पारम दर्शयति भगवान सनत कुमार इति. Look at upakrama, upasamhara. Upakrama is tam ma bhagavan shokasya param tarayato. To that one that I am, to me who is such, the Venerable Sir may help me or enable me to cross this ocean of grief. So then the introduction of the whole discussion was with a desire to become free from grief, meaning, and that is the product of ignorance of self, therefore those desire to know the self. Tasmai mridakashaya tamasah param darshayati Bhagavan Sanat Kumara. The last sentence is Bhagavan Sanat Kumara. Tamasah param darshayati shows Narada the other shore of the ocean of ignorance. Mudita Kashaya. When Narada has become completely pure in his mind, then Sanat Kumara shows. Iti tamaheti shukari karanam avidya uchyate. So there the word tamaha is used, here the word shoka is used. So tamaha means ignorance, which is the cause. Shoka is the grief, which is effect. So in the introduction is the removal of effect, which calls for the removal of cause, and in conclusion is that Sanat Kumara removed the cause of namely ignorance, so that shoka, which is the effect, also gets removed. So thus there is consistency in the introduction and conclusion. Pranante cha anushasane na pranasya anyayattada uchyeda atmatah prana iti brahmanam. If the intention was to teach that prana is the ultimate truth, then the conclusion would not be that prana is dependent upon the self. Atmatah prana, that the prana also emerges from Atma. So prana is not the ultimate truth. If prana was meant to be taught as the ultimate truth, then conclusion would not be that prana also is born of Atma. Prakaranante Paramatma Vivaksha Bhavishari Bhumadu Prana Evaiti Chet. Alright, we'll accept that Prakaranante at the conclusion of this whole Prakaranam, the whole dialogue, Paramatma Vivaksha Bhavishari, then there is the Vivaksha or the desire to stay straight Paramatma. Bhumadu Prana Evaiti Chet. So prana is Paramatma is, now it is, but Bhuma is prana. Says now, sa bhagavah kasmin pratishtita iti svai mahimni ityadina bhumna eva prakana samapte anukarshanat. Sa bhagavah kasmin pratishtita iti. Hey Venerable Sir, where is that Saha? Where is the He established? What does that He, Saha, stand for? Stands for Bhuma. Sve mahimni ityadina bhumna eva prakana samapte anukarshanat. Bhuma alone, in fact, is referred to even at the conclusion of this whole discussion. Vipuljatmika bhuma rupata sarva karanat paramatmanah sutaram upapadyate. Sarva karanatvat. So, bhuma means Vaipulyam, abundance, vastness, and vastness can be only there in cause, not in effect. So Paramatma is the ultimate cause of everything. Prana also is in effect. So prana also is vast in its own right. But still, Paramatma, who is the cause of prana, naturally is vaster, and therefore the vastness in the primary sense can only apply to Paramatma. Now on the page 216 we continue. says Ratnaprabha, Bhumnah Brahmatve Lingantaram Aha. Lingantaram, another linga, another chinha, another evidence is being given here to prove how Bhuma is Paramatma or Bhuma is Brahma. Meaning that whatever linga or chinha, whatever characteristics are found in Paramatma, they are also found in Bhuma. So whatever characteristics are found in Brahman are also found in Bhuma, therefore also Bhuma is Brahman. So Dharma iti sutram. So the next sutra says, Dharmopapattescha Dharmopapattescha Dharmopattehe Upapatti, because of it stands to reason. Because of dharma, dharma means the lakshana or the characteristic. Dharma also means the inherent nature. That yatra nanyat pashyad ityadina uktanam, so bhuma is said to be there where there is non-duality, there is absence of all the vyavahara or transaction involving duality. So same characteristic also is described in case of Paramatma. And therefore, Bhuma is Paramatma. And then there are several other characteristics of Bhuma described. Yovai Bhuma tat sukham, Yovai Bhuma tad amrutam. So all of these also apply to Paramatma in the primary sense. Therefore, Dharmopattescha is quite appropriate that the characteristics of Bhuma are also applicable in Paramatma. Sutram Vyakarate. Vashyakara explains the sutra. Says Bhashya. Apicha ye bhumni shruyante dharmaha te paramatmane upapadyante. That's the sutra. So it's in plural. The sutra is in singular dharma because it's a compound anyway. Dharmopattescha. So that compound is explained as apicha ye bhumni shruyante dharmaha. Dharma means characteristics, lakshanas, the inherent characteristics. The swarupa lakshana, the inherent characteristics that are expounded by the Shruti. In case of Bhuma, so Paramatmane upapadyante, they are tenable or appropriate for Paramatma. So dharma or the characteristics or lakshanas which are described in case of Bhuma, they appropriately apply to Paramatma. Therefore we say that Bhuma is Paramatma. So when these fellows are investigating, somebody, I don't know, some criminal who has escaped. So here there is some kind of a picture. Because some photo is there, or somebody has described him in some kind of, and then you find somewhere in Australia. Some fellow here he had beard, that the beard is not there, so things are different. But still the nose and the eyes and the height, all the characteristics are applicable. So the characteristics which were found in this fellow are found to be applicable to somebody in Australia. Then they say this is the same fellow. So how do I identify? Although the appearance, outer appearance may be different, Naturally, they will change their dress, they will change their outer appearance, but certain characteristics cannot be changed. You cannot change your nose, you cannot change your eyes, you cannot change your basic, face, your height. And so, those are the characteristics that are inherent characteristics. In our body also, there are certain things changeable. You can perhaps plant hair and stuff like that, or you can remove hair, and some of those things can be done. But still, certain things cannot be done. And that's how, when you find that characteristics applicable to this person apply to that person, then you come to conclusion that both are the same. Similarly, even though in this chapter, Shruti uses the word Bhuma to describe Paramatma, we find that the characteristics that are described in case of Bhuma are also found in Paramatma. Therefore, Bhuma is Paramatma. Upattim darshayitum bhumni darshanadi abhavam darshayati. What is upatti? What is the appropriateness? To show how it is appropriate that Bhuma is Paramatma, the characteristic of Bhuma. Bhumni darshanadi abhavam darshayati. Bhashyakara shows how there is absence of darshanadi, absence of seeing and hearing and knowing in Bhuma. Yatreti. So Bhashyakara says, Yatra nanyat pashyade, nanyat shrunote, nanyat vijanate, sabhuma iti darshanade vyavahara abhavam bhumane avagamayate. So bhumni and bhumani, they are optional forms, because Bhashyakara himself uses different, ye bhumni shruyante. It says bhumani avagamayati. So darshanadi vyavahara abhavam bhumani, in bhuman, avagamayati makes us see how there is abhavam, absence of all these transactions such as seeing, hearing, knowing. Where yatra nanyat pashyade, where one does not see the other. That means that there is absence of this transaction or interaction of seeing. Because in our day-to-day life, seeing always involves a duality between the seer and the seen. So in our day-to-day life, we always see someone or something different from ourselves, the seer. You hear someone or something that is different from the hearer. You know someone or something that is different from the knower. So the seer seen, hearer heard, knower known, that duality is always there. So here in Bhuma is shown the absence of that duality. Yatra nanyat pashyati, where one does not see the other. Nanyat shrunoti, where one does not hear the other. Nanyat vijanati, where one does not know the other. It is darshanadi vyavahara. Does not show the absence of consciousness, understand? Not that bhuma means it is inert. So absence of vyavahara can be there because the table is not going to see or hear or know anything anyway. So is bhuma something like tables? No. No, anyat pashyati. In seeing is there, but the otherness is not there. Hearing is there, otherness is not there. Knowing is there, otherness is not there. And what's the kind of seeing? The real seeing. Seeing in terms of consciousness. Because even when you see, it is because of consciousness that you see or hear or know. So ultimate seer or hearer or knower is only self. The eyes are the seer, of course, and ears are hearer, the mind is knower. But they gain their capacity to see or hear or know only because of consciousness, Atma. Shrutrasya shrotram manaso manoyat vachoho vacham. The shrotra, or the organ of hearing, can hear only because of the self, the consciousness. Because the organ of hearing is inert or unconscious by itself, but acts as a conscious entity because consciousness or sentiency is imparted with by consciousness. So there is no absence of consciousness, there is no absence of awareness here. Only absence of transaction involving duality. Meaning that the seer, hearer, thinker is not there. That's all it means. So here is not there, here is not there, knower is not there. That does not mean nothing is there. Because seer is a role, hearer is a role, knower is a role. So Bhuma, all the roles are dropped. When the roles are dropped, well, the one who plays the roles very much remains. So therefore, all the roles are dropped. All the transaction is given up. So that is the state. What Vedanta is teaching is that when this vyavahara is going on of seeing and hearing and knowing involving the duality, which is okay. But that is not the ultimate reality about our life. When it says Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, what is Jagat? This vyavahara of seeing, seer, seeing, hearer, heard, hearing, knower, known, knowing, that is called Jagat. That's a creation. That's the product of superimposition. One consciousness alone, one self alone is the hearer and the heard and the hearing. One self alone takes all these different roles. So all it means is that roles are all superimposed when the superimposition is given up. So whatever can be negated is negated. So Jagan Mithya means Jagat is that which is subject to being negated. You can let it go, you can drop it. So when the wise person gains the capacity to drop it, he can drop the idea of hearer, that I am a hearer, I am a seer, I am a knower. When he lets it go, doesn't hold on to that, then what remains is true himself. So this is how Bhuma is described as non-dual. Then further, Katham etavata paratma dhihi. All right. So just because there is absence of duality or the vyavahara involved in duality, only by that much, how do you say that that Bhuma is Paratma? How do you conclude that Bhuma is Paramatma? So says Bhashyakara, Paramatmani cha ayam darshanadi vyavahara abhavaha avadataha yatra tvasya sarvam atmaiva bhut tatkenakam pashyet ityadi shrutyantarat. Paramatmani cha, and in Paramatma also, ayam darshanadi vyavahara abhavaha. This absence of the vyavahara or the transaction or interaction involving seeing, hearing, etc. So understand that there is no objection to seeing, hearing. When you say Jagat is mithya, there is no opposition to Jagat. It only means that Jagat is not as it appears to you, is not the ultimate reality. Not that Jagat does not exist. Also it's called Satyam in a certain sense, Satyasya Satyam. So Prana vai Satyam, Esha Tesham Satyam, okay. So Vedanta accepts that the world of transaction also has a certain reality. It has usefulness. But that satyasa satyam, that is not the ultimate reality. There is no intention of rejecting the world as people think. It's not rejecting the world. It is drawing your attention that look, there is something better than this, something greater than this. So don't take this as the ultimate. Look closely. You'll find something greater and much vaster and much, wonderful there. So it is simply to draw our attention that it is said, Jagat is mithya. We have no grudge against Jagat. You love the Jagat. So, there is no reason why not to love the Jagat. So, mithya does not mean that you hate or that you have a problem with it. Mithya becomes problem when you take it to be satyam. Otherwise, there is no problem. Mithya means that which can be let go. So, Jagat lends itself for letting go. Then you see the other dimension. So, you perceive with the kind of organs of perception given to us, we can see one dimension of Brahman alone. This is Brahman. Tasmat parang pashyati nantaratman. But these organs of perception are gifted to us. But they have the capacity to reveal a certain dimension of Brahman. What nam rupatmakam? So dimension of name and form, which is called Jagat, which is a vesha, a costume, which is a projection, superimposition. That's all the sense organs can show. So therefore he said that don't get satisfied like Narada that this is it, I've known everything. It's not. There is something greater than this. You can call it something beyond whatever you want. Beyond and after and behind and whatever word you want to use, because you want him to take off his attachment or his conclusion that this is ultimate. You want him to divert him from that. So you use different words. But the idea is that this can be let go. Omiti idakshanam idagum sarvam. Om alone is all this. And then this alone is Om. The Om is everything. So Bhashyakara says, let go this Om. Om is everything. So first of all, reduce everything to Om. The Nam Rupatmak Jagat, reduce it. See that it is Om. Then let go Om, so the whole Jagat is gone. And what remains is substratum of Om. So these are all the prakriyas, the upayas which are being told here. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya also is an upaya. To call Jagat Mithya as an upaya to enable us to let it go. Then you have the knowledge of Brahman as a self. And therefore, both Bhuma and Paramatma, both of them are described as non-dual. Pranepi tat upattihi ukta idya asankya. But this appropriateness applies to prana also. So appropriateness of characteristics of Bhuma, you say that they apply to Paramatma, we say that they also apply to prana. We pointed out to you, in prana also there is no hearing, no seeing in the deep sleep state. In prana also there is sukham. In prana also there is immortality. So all the characteristics of Bhuma also apply to prana. So prana be the upatti ukta, we already told you upatti. That's why we continued with this sutra, that in the previous sutra, the Purva Pakshi argued and showed how all these characteristics also apply to prana. And so he is pointing out, our attention is drawing. For example, Sushupta avasthayam pranagrasteshu karaneshu darshanadi vyavahara nivrutti darshanat sambhavati pranasyapi etad lakshanam yatra nanyat pashyati. This Lakshanam, yatra nanyat pashyati, nanyat shrunoti, can be said to apply to prana also, because in the state of deep sleep, when all other organs have been completely merged in prana and prana alone is awake, at that time there is no seeing, no hearing. So you can say that the absence of seeing and hearing also apply to prana. Why not? And then yo vaibhuma tat sukham. There also, and therefore, so yat etasmin sharire sukham bhavati. Deep sleep state sukham also is there. And Kausitika says prana is immortal. So all of these upapatti or the appropriateness of Paramatma or Bhuma were shown in prana. What about that? So now Bhashyakara answers that. Or as Ratnaprabha says, Yaduktam Bhumno Lakshanam Mukhyatvam Amrutatvam Cha Pranashayojyamedi Tadanudya Vighatayati. Yaduktam, the Puru Pakshi had said, Bhumnaha Lakshanam Sukhatvam Amrutatvam Cha. The absence of the Vyavahara, then happiness, then immortality, all of this can also be Yojyam. Somehow they can be also connected with prana. Somehow they were connected. Tat anudya, reiterating to that, Vighatayati, Bhashyakara destroys it, meaning that he dismisses them. Yopyasaviti. Bhashyakara says, Yopyasau sushuptavasthayam darshanadi vyavhara bhava uktah sopi atmanah eva asangatva vivakshaya uktah न प्राण स्वभाव विवक्षया परमात्म प्रकरणात् सुषुप्त अवस्थायाम, in the state of deep sleep, दर्शनादि व्यवहार अभाव उक्तः, the absence of the vyavahara, the absence of the transaction of seeing, hearing, etc., which you said, also applies to prana in the state of deep sleep. Sopi atmana, you understand that this absence of vyavahara was not in case of prana, that was to describe the lakshana or characteristic of atma. So atmaneva asangatva vikshaya uktah, that atma does not see the dreams, atma does not see your hair. So this was said to show how atma is asanga, unattached. Na prana swava, but it was not meant to describe the swava prana, Paramatma Prakaranat, because the context is Paramatma. See, I'll read for you what Bhashyakara is referring to here. Athahinam, so this Prashnopanishad has 6 jignasus. Those desires of knowledge are asking questions one by one to sage Pippalada, who is the Guru. At one point now, Athahinam Sauryayani Gargyah Papracha. 4th question. 3 questions are gone. Sauryayani is the grandson of Surya. Gargyah, the one who is born in the lineage of Garga. Papracha, he asked, Bhagavan, etasmin purushe kani swapanti. Oh, Venerable Sir, in this person, kani swapanti, who goes to sleep? So that's a very interesting question. In this person, what are the things that go to sleep? Which organs go to sleep? Kani asmin jagrati, which are those who keep awake? Katah esha deva swapnan pashyati, which one of the two? Atma and mind both are there, which one of the two sees the dreams? Kasya etat sukham bhavati. Atma is and prana also is there. So who sees the dreams? Kasya etat sukham bhavati. Who experiences happiness? Kasminu sarve sampratishtita bhavanti iti. Where all of these ultimately merge into. So there's a question about the dream and the deep sleep states. Tasmai sahovacha, to that Saujayani Gargya, the sage Pippalada replied, Yatha Gargya, Maricha, with an illustration, describing beautifully the deep sleep state and the waking state. Yatha Gargya, Maricha, Arkasya, Astam Gachatah. Hey Gargya, when the sun is setting, Sarva etasmin tejo mandale eki bhavanti. How all the rays ultimately merge back into the orb of the sun. Sun is setting, all the rays merge back into sun. Taha punah punah udayatah pracharanti. Again and again, when the sun rises, then they again all spread out. Evam vai tatsaram pare deve manasi eki bhavati. Similarly, all these organs of action, organs of perception, all of these merge into the mind. Tena tarhi esha purusha manasi eki bhavati means mind and in the self actually. They merge in mind and mind also merges into the self. Tena tarhi esha purusha na shranoti, na pashyati, na jigrati. Bhashyakara quoted this. Because of that, then, this person, this Jivatma, does not shranoti, he does not hear, na pashyati, does not see, na jigrati, does not smell. More details are given in. Na rasayate, does not taste, na sprushate, does not touch, na bhivadate, does not talk, na adatte, does not grasp, na anandayate, doesn't enjoy ananda, na visrujate, doesn't discard, doesn't excrete, na iyayate, doesn't move. Swapiti iti asakshate, then people say that he's sleeping. Pranagneva etasmin pure jagrati. At that time in his body, who keeps awake? Pranagneha, the fires in the form of prana, our life breath. Gharapatyo vaesha apanaha. So as we said that at the time, that this functioning of prana in the state of deep sleep is compared to the performance of a yajna. So how a householder maintains his fires called garhapatya, ahavaniya, anvaharya, pachana, these three fires are maintained. So says garhapatya hava esha apanaha, this prana that goes in is called garhapatya. Vyanaha, anvaharya, pachanaha, other fire is called anvaharya, but that's a vyana. Yet garhapatyat praniyate, pranayanat ahavaniyah pranaha. See, in the morning when they have to make the oblation of Agnihotra, the ember from the garhapatya fire is taken and the ahavaniya fire is lighted and then the oblations are given. Here, the apana is gone in. So from there the prana comes out. It's like the embers of fire taking from the apana or the garhapatya and to ahavaniya. So prana is compared to ahavaniya. So this prana, this agni is there awake. Then samana, etc., all are described. Atresha deva swapne mahimanam anubhavati. It is also said, yat uchvasa nishvasau edo ahuti. So what are the oblations? Uchvasa nishvasau. The breath coming out and going in, they are like the ahutis. Samam nayati samanaha. And because he equalizes everything, therefore, so is called samanaha is the samam nayati. Manohavav yajmanaha. The yajmana is manaha, the sacrificer. Ishtaphalam udanaha. Udana is the result, the ishtaphalam that you get by this fire, the Agnihotra. Sairam Yajamanam Arhar Brahma Gamayati. If it is Udana Vayu takes his Yajamana sacrifice of the Jiva to Brahma in the deep sleep state. Atresh Deva Swapne Mahiman Manubhavati. At that time, this Devata called mind experiences his own glory in the dream because he has created the whole dream world. Drishtam Anupashyati. In the dream, he sees what he has seen before. Shrutam Artham, whatever he has heard, he hears again. Desh Digantarisya Pratyanubhutam Punah Punah, whatever he experienced in different places and directions, he experiences again. Drishtamcha, but sometimes he also sees what is seen and what is not seen also in the dream. Shrutamcha, Ashrutamcha, hears what is heard or sometimes what is not heard. Anubhutamcha, Ananubhutamcha, sometimes he hear experiences what is experienced or what is not experienced, etc. Satya asat sarvam pashyati, sarvah pashyati. Mind becomes everything and sees everything. Sayada tejasa abhibhuto bhavati. When he gets overcome by udana vayu, atresh deva swapnan na pashyati. In the deep sleep state then, so he does not see the dreams. Atatada etasmin sharire etas sukham bhavati. Then this body, this happiness occurs in the state of deep sleep. So all of these are connected to prana because prana is awake. So Purva Pakshi said all this applies to prana. Bhashyakara says all this applies to self. So then, Sayatha Somya Vayamsi Vaso Vruksham Sampradishtante. Hey Somya, oh good looking one. Just as the birds repair to their nests in the evening very happily, so also etat sarvam tat sarvam pare atmani sampratishtate. So where do they all abide? In Paramatma. All of these things abide in the deep sleep state. So Bhashyakara says the topic here is Paramatma and not Prana. So it is said that it is the deity in the form of mind that sees the dreams, means that the dreams are seen by a mind, not by Atma. So asangatva vivakshaya. When all these activities are going on, the dream, deep sleep, all this is going on, what's the role of Atma? He just shines and illumines everything. In the dream, Atma illumines the presence of everything. Seeing, hearing, deep sleep state, he illumines absence of everything. And all of these things then merge into the Atma. Eshi drashta, sprashta, shrota, grata, rasayita, manta. Here alone is the ultimate sense. Even though the real seer is not there, local seer, but then the real seer is there. As we say, that even when we see, who really sees? Atma alone sees. Because Atma alone imparts sentiency to the organ of seeing and therefore he is the ultimate seer. Because without Atma, seeing cannot take place. Therefore, he is said to be, in a secondary sense, he is called seer. So at that time, Ishai Drashta, this self is the Drashta, the seer, Sprashta, toucher, Shrota, hearer, Grata, smeller, Rasaita, taster, Manta, Buddha, Karta, Vijnana, Purusha. So Pare Akshare Atmani Sampradishtate. All of this ultimately abide or merge into Paramatma. You can also say that the seer, hearer, taster, toucher, all of these ultimately abide into Paramatma. Sa Sarvajna Sarvo Bhavati. He is all knowing, he becomes all, etc. So this is how Bhashyakara says that in Prashnopanishad, from where this Purva Pakshi took some statements and tried to prove how prana also does not see here, etc., that there is happiness. All of this is meant for self and not for prana, because the whole discussion here is about Paramatma and not about prana. Prana is by the way, because he happened to be there. Says Ratna Brahma, Sati buddhyadi upadau atmana drashtuttvadihi. That Atma becomes a sprashta, drashta, etc. When? Sati upadau, buddhyadi upadau. In the waking state, in the dream state, when buddhyadi, the upadi, or this is this costume of the buddhi, the intellect, the mind, etc. is there, that is when the Atma becomes a seer and hearer and knower. Tadabhave sushupto tadabhavaha. Then Prashnopanishad proceed to show how there is no drashta, sprashta, shrota, all of them merge. That when the antahkarana, the mind is there, so long the functions of seeing, hearing, etc. are there, that Atma is called seer, hearer. But when that because of which he is called a seer, hearer is not there, namely the mind, then Atma ceases to be a seer, hearer also in the state of deep sleep. Iti asangatva jnanatham. Meaning that even when the seeing, hearing takes place, Atma is not the real seer, hearer. It is by the agency of the mind that is designated as a seer and hearer. So Atma gets a designation of a seer or hearer in the waking state, dream state, because of the presence of the mind. And when that mind is not there, no more he has designation. That means that he is not a hearer when you think he is a hearer, and not a seer when you think he is a seer. He is always asangaha, unattached. So asangatva jnanatham prashnopanishadi, for showing or for explaining how Atma, the self, is asanga, is unconnected, unattached. Na shranoti, na pashyati paramatmanam prakrutya uktam. So Nash does not hear, does not see. He is talked about Paramatma. That look, when the mind is absent now, he is not no more a seer, no more a hearer. So Paramatma is the subject matter there and not prana. Then Bhashyakara says, so Nyayanirana also said, Swapna Jagritayoho Sati Manasi Darshanadi Vyavaharat. Sati, Swapna Jagritayoho, in the dream and the waking state, when the mind is there, all the Vyavahara is there. Tadabhave swape tadabhavat. When mind is not there in deep sleep state, this Vyavahara of seeing, hearing is not there. Anvaya Vyatirikabhyam. Anvaya, when the mind is there, Vyavahara is there. Mind is not there, Vyavahara is not there. Manodino darshanadi. He na atmakrutaha. All the seeing, hearing is all on account of mind, not on account of self. Sadhu swataha alinga iti matva. He is without any characteristic, without any attributes at all. Keeping that in mind, na shrunoti ityadana sarvavyahara bhava sushupta ukto. And therefore, the absence of all vyavahara in the deep sleep is with reference to self and not with reference to prana. Na prana vikshya paraprakarana virodhat, because the total Upanishad is meant for Paramatma. Prashnopanishad is meant to unfold the nature of not prana. So not only the Paraprakarana, this question should also connect with the entire discussion also, which is of Paramatma. Then tasyeva sukhatvam patiyogi pratyuktya sphutayati. Sukha also belongs to Atma and not Prana. So, tada etasmin sharire sukham bhavati. At that time, there is happiness in his body, also applies to Atma and not to Prana. So, Bhashyakara says, Yadapi tasyam avasthayam sukhamuktam tadapi atmanah eva sukharupatva vivakshaya uktam. Yadapi tasyam avasthayam, in that state of deep sleep, sukhamuktam, that, so etat sukham bhavati. So, because pronouns, though, it's difficult to, you can connect it with whatever you want. But then you have to read the whole context and then you realize that Atmaneva Sukha Vivakshaya. It is Vivaksha with the intention to say that Atma is the nature of happiness and not the prana. Then Bhashyakara quotes there, Tasya Sukhatve Manamaha. How do you say that Atma is happiness? Because here there is a question here. Well, happiness, Purvapakshi says this happiness and deep sleep is meant to indicate that prana is happy. And you say that no, that is meant to show that Atma is happy. Alright. Do you have also pramanam to show that Atma is happy? So Bhashyakara says, Yatah aha eshosya param anandaha etasyaiva anandasya anyani bhutani matram upajivante iti. Therefore, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Eshosya parama anandaha. See, there again, in the dialogue between, say, Yajnavalkya and Janaka. So, this is the conclusion. In the 4th chapter of the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, this conclusion comes. Yatra va anya divasyat tatra anyat pashyet anyat jigjhet anya raset anyat vadet anyat shrunuyat so manvita anyat sprushet vijaniyat, etc. Where yatra dvitiyam asti, that is the ignorance. Sarilah eko drashta advaita bhavasi. Saril like water, like transparent. Eka, the non-dual. The star, the seer, the witness. Advaita bhavati. He becomes one. So even the deep sleep state also is elaborately talked about in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad to teach the nature of moksha, to teach the nature of Atma. Esha Brahmaloka Samraditi Hainam Anushasasa Yajnavalkya. This is how Yajnavalkya instructed King Janaka. Eshasya Paramagatihi Eshasya Paramasampat Eshosya Paramoloka Eshosya Parama Anandaha Eshasya Paramagatihi. This is the ultimate gati, ultimate end, ultimate goal to be reached. Eshasya Paramasampat, this is the ultimate glory. Eshosya Paramoloka, this ultimate loka, not Bhuloka, Bhurloka. Ultimate loka is this, not even Brahmaloka. Brahman is ultimate loka. Eshosya Paramananda. Of this one, this is the supreme Ananda, the most exalted Ananda. Etasyeva Anandasya anyani bhutani matram upajivanti. He Janaka, from a particle of this bliss or Ananda, that is Brahmananda. A particle of Brahmananda, the rest of them all are sustained by a particle of Brahmananda. That's Parama Ananda. So again, describing the nature of the self. So that's what Bhashyakara said. Eshosya Param Ananda etasyeva anandasya anyani bhutani matram upajivanti iti. Itascha atmana eva sukhatvam. So, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad was quoted to show Atma is the nature of Sukha. Even this one also says, Chandogya also says, Bhashyakara says, Ihapi yo vai bhuma tat sukham nalpe sukham asti bhuma eva sukham iti samaya sukha nirakaranena brahmaiva sukham bhumanam dashyati. Here also, no, Bhashyakara, here is not Chando, he's talking about Brahma Sutra. But here should be Brahma Sutra, but actually it's Chandogya, So we also identified Chandogya Upanishad while discussing this. Ihave, yo vai bhuma tat sukham. Here in Chandogya also, it is said, yo vai bhuma, that which is bhuma, that is sukham, that is happiness. Nalpe sukham asti. There is no sukham happiness in anything that is finite. That is infinite, that alone is happiness. Bhuma eva sukham, then again, bhuma alone is happiness and nothing else. So bhuma eva sukham. So there is an exclusion of something, what? Samaya sukha nirakaranena. So there is a happiness which is mixed with unhappiness. Samaya. Amaya namadi nashadi dosha tat saidam samayam. So Ratna also say yata Shrutyantaram atmaneva sukhatva tasmat yata tatah, because Brihadaranyaka also said Atma is happiness, therefore. And what is samayam? So amayena sa vartate. So amayena, what is amaya? So nira sarve santu niramayaha. Amaya means dukkham or dosha. In this case also the disease, etc. So, amaya nashadi dosha. Every happiness that we experience is samayam, is mixed with amaya. What is amaya? Is dushitam, has this defect that it is perishable. All the happiness that we experience is fleeting happiness, it comes to an end, and that dosha is there in all happiness. So, samayam sukham nirakritya. So there were bhuma, so that nalpe sukham asti. Alpe sukham nasti, anything that is finite, there is no happiness there. So that is all the happiness that we experience is always mixed with sorrow. Mixed, so happiness that we experience basically is of course so ksheshna, meaning that it comes to an end. And so therefore that which comes to an end itself is dukkha. So even when you are experiencing that happiness, at the back of the mind we always know that this is going to come to an end. Always. You are enjoying a movie knowing very well that this will come to an end. Enjoying a song, enjoying food, enjoying anything. The idea that this will come to an end never goes. So that this is going to come to an end is amaya. Nashadi dosha. That is only fleeting happiness, temporary happiness. So that was discarded. Brahmaiva sukham bhumanam dashayati. That bhumaiva sukham. So Brahmaiva sukham. So Brahma, which is happiness, alone is bhuma. That's what is said in the Chandogya Upanishad also. Dharmadvaya dharmantaramaha. Okay. So dharmadvaya, what's first dharma? First is absence of vyavahara of duality. What is second dharma? Sukham or happiness. Dharmantaram, meaning the third dharma, third characteristic is being shown by Bhashyakara. Yo vai bhuma tadamrutam iti amrutatvam api yashruyamaणम परमकारणम गमयते विकाराणाम अमृतत्वस्य आपेक्षिकत्वात् अतोऽन्यदार्थम् इति श्रुत्यन्तरात् यो वै भूमा तदमृतम. So that which is bhuma is immortal. Iti amrutatvam. So what kind of immortality is meant there? When Chandogya says that which is bhuma is immortal, so what kind of immortality is meant there? Iti shruyamanam amrutatvam paramakaranam gamayati. It is immortality in absolute sense. So without any restriction is unrestricted immortality. So Paramakana, that unrestricted or unconditional immortality can be there in Paramakana. See, there is this cause and ultimate cause. Because there are so many in-between causes. For example, the water is the cause of earth, and fire is the cause of water, and air is the cause of... So each one is a cause and effect also. Ultimately, this leads to where? Purushanna param kinchit sa kastha sa paragatihi. That Purusha or Brahman is the ultimate cause. So let's go Paramakana. In between also Karanas are there. Vayu also is a Karanam. Akash also is Karanam. Maya also is Karanam. Then Avyaktat Purusha Paraha. As compared to Avyakta or Maya also, Purusha the Paramatma is supreme. So this immortality can be there, with unconditional immortality can be there, only in Paramakaranam, in the ultimate cause, because then there is no restriction at all. Vikaranam Amrutatvasya. So Prana also has some immortality. Prana also is great. Saguna Brahma also is, but then is Vikara. Ultimately, Prana is created. Hiranyagarbha also is created. Sutratma also is created. And thereby it will perish also. So, Vikaranam Amrutatvasya. So, no doubt, Hiranyagarbha also lasts for a long time. Trillions of years. But still, it is only apekshikam. Someday it will come to an end. Brahma bhuvanan lokaha punaravartino Arjuna. All the lokas of the Brahma loka also are subject to punaravartanam. Therefore, Amrutattvam talked about with reference to Bhuma and Chandogya cannot apply to anything other than Paramakaranam, the ultimate cause, which is Paramatma. And Atanyat Artam it is Shrutyantarat Bruhadaranyaka. Everything other than that is Artam. So Itascha, so number one, Prana is Vikara. Therefore, the immortality cannot be in the primary sense. Number one, Itascha, na Pranasya Mukhyam Amrutat. For this reason also, Prana cannot enjoy immortality in primary sense. Says Atah Anyat Artam. Ataha Anyat, other than this is Artam. What is Artam? Artik Grastam. Everything other than Brahman, other than Paramatma is Artam and Artik Grastam. Always some suffering is there. In everything that is other than Paramatma, which is limited, there is going to be some pain and suffering. Artik. Nashiti Avad. So because everything is mortal, everything is subject to time and place and limitations. And so everything other than Brahman or Paramatma is limited, is perishable. This is a Shrutyantara. So both are said. How immortality of Atma is absolute and how everything other than Atma is mortal. Nashi is Vinashi, means is mortal. Both are said. So Ratnavara also says, Amaya Nasha, so Artam Nashwaram. Shashvatam and Nashwaram. Immortal and mortal. Then Bhashyakara says in the last sentence, Tathacha Satyatvam Swamahima Pratishthitatvam Sarvagatatvam Sarvatmatvam Iti cha Ete Dharmaha Shruyamanaha Paramatmani eva Upapadyante na anyatra. Tathacha. Furthermore, Satyatvam. So you have Satyena Ativadate. So Satyatvam. Then Swamahima Pratishthitatvam. And so then the question was asked, Bhagavaha Kasmin Pratisthita iti. Said Narada asked, O Venerable Sir, where is this Brahma established? Sve Mahimni, established in its own glory. So being established in its own glory also applies to Paramatma. everything else is establishing something else. So glories are there. The wealth may be there, name, fame, etc. But establishing the person, and person is establishing in the glory. So nothing is independent. Only one who is established in his own glory is the one who is independent, and that is Paramatma. Then Sarvagatatvam, being all pervasive, Sarvatmatvam, being self of all, Idicha. So these are, we have not yet read, but these are described. So says Ratnaprabha, Saeva adhastat, so parishtatiti, Sarvagatatvam. Now we'll read those passages. Saeva adhastat, that's Saha again, same pronoun which applies to Bhuma. That Bhuma is adhastat, uparishta, he is below, is above, and everywhere. Iti Sarvagatatvam, how Bhuma is all pervasive will be stated. Then, Saevaidam sarvamiti sarvatmatvam cha shrutam. He alone is all of this, so is the self of all. So Bhuma is also described as Sarvatma. Therefore, Swamahima pratishthitatvam, sarvagatatvam, sarvatmatvam cheti, ete dharmaha, shruyamanaha. All these characteristics described by the Chandogya Upanishad. Paramatmane upapadyante. All of them can be appropriate only in Paramatma, nanyatra, cannot apply to anything other than Paramatma. So Shruti, Linga, Prakranebhya, Bhuma Paramatma iti. So by Shruti, Satyena Tivadati, and so forth. And Yove Bhuma Tatsukam is all Shruti. Then Linga and Prakarana. So by all of this, because the Mahaprakarana is only Bhuma, so Prakranebhya, and then so many Lingas, Vijignasitavyam, etc. So Bhuma Paramatma iti. It is shown how Bhuma alone is Paramatma. Tat Pratipatyartham Bhuma Vakyam iti. This is very important to determine because this teaching is meant to teach you what? Prana or Bhuma? See, if the whole dialogue between Sayyid Sanat Kumar and Narada is to teach Prana, then it would be a different one attitude. If to teach Bhuman or Brahman, another attitude. In one case there is Upasana, meditation, other case there is knowledge. So the whole approach will be different. So even the one who listens to this also will have a different orientation depending upon what his understanding is. That's why it's very important to clear understanding that this is not about prana, this is about Bhuma or Paramatma. So Bhashyakara says, Tasmat Bhuma Paramatma iti siddham. Iti siddham. Tasmat, therefore, for all this Shruti, Linga, Prakaranebhya. So we presented all these evidences, Shruti, Linga and Prakarana. Therefore, Bhuma Paramatma iti siddham. So it is established or proven. Says Ratna Tasmat Bhuma Adhyaya Nirgune Samanvita iti siddham. That Bhuma stands for Nirgunam Brahma, Param Brahma and not Aparam Brahma. It is siddham. This is what is proven by the Shruti, Linga and Prakarana and Upapatti. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. हरि ओम। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम।